Hi, collective. This is Tam from Artemis Oracle. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. I'm gonna put this on. Just to keep certain. Okay, so I'm gonna do an all signs reading for the collective. I was like trying to figure out what theme to use for the reading, and I feel like, let me see what cards I have here. It's like I have different ideas, but I don't know if I want to use this timing oracle. So I don't want to do a love reading, so I'm not going to use love cards. So I feel like I've been doing a couple of love readings, but if love comes out with the cards I do use, then, you know, we'll just work with that. So I hope all of you are having a great day. Lately I've been a little bit off, a bit low energy, but I'm gonna try to push through this reading. Hopefully I can get messages that are helpful, useful, resonate with you. I'm gonna start off with Aries. I'm going into the Truth Oracle deck to see what you need to look out for. This reading is timeless. I'm not gonna give a specific time frame or date. It's just gonna be for each zodiac sign. I haven't used this deck in a couple of weeks, probably. So let's see what messages does each sign need to know. I'm going to start off with Aries. What sign does Aries, maybe signs. What signs do you need? Messages you need to know at this time. That is for your highest good. What messages does the Aries collective need to know? What messages does Aries need to know at this time? If you're new here, my name is Tan. Artemis Oracle is my channel. I'm a tarot and oracle card reader. I'm starting off with Aries, and I'm going to go through each zodiac sign in the order of the zodiac. So Aries, Aries, Aries. What does Aries need to know? What does Aries need to know at this time? What truth needs to be revealed to Aries? What truth needs to be revealed to Aries? I feel like I'm doing like a pre-shuffle right now. Okay, that card. Noisy sound, information overload, social media, out of control for Aries. Okay, what else? What else does Aries need to know? Suspicion. And street. Single. Why is it street? Oh my God. Aries. You see the street cards in the bottom. I just saw the single card and I thought it was the street card. Okay. Thank you. All right. Noisy sound. Suspicion. Single. Isolation. Independent. Alone. Information overload, social media, out of control, suspicion. I feel like some of you may be feeling suspicious about something, or there may be somebody who feels suspicious about you. There could be somebody trying to get information about you, trying to find out if you're single, are you in a relationship, are you alone, or this may be you, this may be your energy where you may be the type of person who may be suspicious of other people, right? Because of all the information, maybe suspicious about a specific person because of all the information that you're receiving about them. You know, and whatever the situation is, it could be getting out of hand. And you feel like you have to keep your guard up, like you have to protect yourself. I don't know if this person has been hostile towards you, if you're sensing that someone's jealous of you, or you just very suspicious of any activity, you know, anything you're hearing about, and it's making you very suspicious about a specific person, right? But I feel like it's information that you're receiving from the street. And when I visit the street card, it's like community. It's making me think of gossip. So I don't know if you're hearing gossip, you're hearing things like, what they call neighborhood gossip. What's that other thing? It's like, I'm thinking about you hearing information, but it's like strings of information or things that are connecting. Everything is connecting for you. It's a circulation sports exhibit. It's like things are coming out, things are being seen, things are being put out to be seen, you know? And I feel like it's you You already intuited this. You may have already sensed that this was happening, or you sense something about this person, something that may be coming out. Your intuition, your sixth sense, subconscious. It could be a subconscious knowing or inner knowing. And it could be involving someone who is someone that you feel like can be manipulative, can be lying, who can be toxic, and possibly, yes, it could be a feminine figure. Fertility. I don't know if snakes would be considered feminine, because certain animals are associated with feminine and masculine. Like lions, they're more masculine, but tigers are tied to feminine for some reason. Bears are more in the feminine because of mother, like mother bear, that type of thing. I know Papa Bears. Are Papa Bears just as? It could just be someone who can be like in a nurturing. That's why I'm saying all that stuff. Depending on the animal. I don't know if this is like a feminine energy or something or this could be you. I'm not saying you're a snake. It could be your feminine energy that's already like seeing something. You may be seeing something or someone for who they really are. You may be seeing this is someone that you can't really trust, because you feel like they may put your business out there, but you feel like some things are getting out of control, possibly, and maybe something's coming out revealed. Maybe someone's having an affair. It says limit crime, forbidden love, curiosity. Maybe somebody has hidden curiosities. Maybe someone is, experimenting and trying new things, but then they're being very reckless with what they're doing. And it could have to do with work. I don't know if it could be somebody from work. It could be a colleague. It could be a friend. It could be someone that you may be interested in, or you may be you're just someone that's on your radar, essentially. It could be somebody that's on your radar. All right. Let's see what we got. Aries. What does Aries think mean? I'm gonna get a card for a noisy sound. The Queen of Cups came out. We did see the intuitive card. So some of you, this Nine of Cups came out. Look at this. The High Priestess and the Queen of Swords came out. I mentioned feminine energy, right? A lot of feminine cards came out. And I say feminine because they all have feminine figures. The Queen of Cups came out, someone who was loving, caring, compassionate, someone that's, just emotional, maybe even emotionally sensitive. But Nine of Cups could be like someone who may be seen as a wish fulfillment, someone who is very pleased or happy with themselves, but then also someone who also is honest and has integrity with the Queen of Swords. But then it could be someone too. It could be Pisces, it could be any air sign or any water sign. It could just be somebody who embodies this. But we have Pisces showing up with the High Priestess. Pisces, I also say, is Cancer too. Someone who's very intuitive, sensitive, like she's trusting her instincts. So if you're having certain suspicions about somebody, because intuition, I know everybody has intuition, but they tie it more so to woman's intuition. So if you are a feminine energy, I feel like this is more so for feminine energy. If you're suspicious about a masculine energy, because the only masculine card we have here is the single card, and it has a masculine figure on it. So if there's somebody that you're suspicious about, trust your instincts. You are saying things clearly. You're saying the facts. And because the Queen of Swords came out in the upright. If she came out in the reverse, then she's not the greatest queen. Any of the queens in the reverse are not the greatest. But this is someone who is seeing the truth, seeing the facts for what they are, and trusting their instincts, and acting on instinct, But I say that if you feel like you have to protect yourself, protect your happiness, then you're going to have to definitely trust your intuition. There could be somebody, it could be a masculine energy that may be jealous of you. you know, jealous of where you are in your life, and jealous of the any success that you have, and you may already be suspecting this, you know. But this could be easily be a masculine energy who embodies feminine energy too, because I don't want to leave anybody out. But I feel like there may be a masculine figure that someone needs to look out for, and a masculine, like men need to look out for fellow masculines too, you know. So that may be the case. So you have to protect yourself. If there's something that you're already suspicious about, trust that instinct. Don't turn your back on it. You know, yeah, trust your instincts. I feel like that's the advice for you, Aries. I hope that was helpful for you. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into Taurus. Taurus is gonna be 11. Okay, so hold on a moment. I gotta check something. Thank you for your patience. So Taurus, what does Taurus need to know? Taurus has 12. Taurus. Let me change that. What messages does Taurus need to know? Some of the cards came out in reverse, but it's because of the way I shuffled them, so I'm not going to read them as reversals. Yeah, we're up to Taurus now, so you're going to be waiting for quite some time. Taurus. Thank you for your patience, though. Okay, drinks. Liquor, coffee, tea, water. I'm going to take this card and this card. Immortality. Huh. You mentioned Scorpio. This is like the phoenix rising from the ashes. You know, it says resurrection, sublimation, piety, infinity. We are currently in Taurus season, and I am reading for Taurus right now. So some of you may be dealing with a Scorpio energy. Scorpio is the opposite sign of Taurus. Balance each other out, water and earth, you know. So you have drinks and miracle and synchronization. I don't know, like the first thing I thought of is like when the miracle card came out, it's like, I don't know if somebody is being invited out to drinks, invited out to have drinks, invited out for like a mini date, a little something, like a little appetizer of a date I'm getting, because it's like certain things are starting to align. Dreams come true, you get what you want, right? Drinks, some of you may be going out to celebrate because there was something that you've been wanting and it's finally coming true, and everything is coming to fruition. You may be very much in your emotions with synchronization. You may be very happy, excited, elated, you know, jumping for joy because some sort of miracle has come true. Something that you've been wanting for a long time and that you're finally receiving. But you may be going out to celebrate. You may be going out for drinks. You know, some people like to go out for champagne. Some people want to smoke a cigar. And there that is. You know, there's a cigar there, and then you see someone possibly drinking whiskey. I think it's whiskey, right? Could be whiskey. And I feel like this is something with it's the fact that that card came out. I think that you've undergone some sort of transformation in your life, and it could also be that you're very proud of yourself for overcoming some sort of challenges, getting to the other side of it, possibly being unscathed, possibly becoming stronger, more in tune with yourself, more safer, more protective, more aware, more confident, more of whatever you're feeling, Taurus. But it's like you're feeling good. You may even feel like you're unstoppable, like nothing can stop you, no one can stop you, because you're getting what you want. In the end, you may have struggled, you may have had to let versions of yourself that no longer served you leave this earthly realm because whatever it was that you really wanted, those versions of yourself needed to be shed, because you wouldn't be able to really appreciate and celebrate this miracle, whatever it is for you. But we could go into tarot. Tarot will help us clarify. Okay. Tell me about drinks for Taurus. Tell me about drinks for Taurus. Yeah, I think some of you have taken some sort of time by yourself. I don't know if some of you are celebrating sobriety. I don't know if you're reaching some sort of anniversary when it comes to sobriety. It could be that, because I'm seeing this, the Five of Swords. It could have been some sort of battle that you had. This may not resonate with everybody, because not everybody is going through that type of transition or transformation in their life. But it's like some of you may have been very conflicted. Maybe if that is the case for you, if you're, like have been sober for some time and you really had to take time to yourself, possibly had to isolate yourself from people who kind of enabled that kind of lifestyle. But then it's like you've reached this level of peace in your life. But it doesn't necessarily have to be you going out for drinks. See, because tarot can tell us something totally different. But it's funny, because I look at the bottom of the deck, we have the star. And then the next card I want to clarify is the miracle. So there's something like, this has to do with healing. Because anybody who's gone through addiction of substances, any sort of addiction, right, where you need help, you need support, and you need to kind of wean yourself off. You need to get away from those types of environments that enable those types of habits, those when they become uncontrollable. But the fact is, the star is like you took time to yourself to heal, and now you're starting to nurture yourself and put your energy towards something tangible, like your future, working on your future, maybe even working on art and stuff like that. I don't know if some of you may be having some sort of exhibition if you are an artist. See Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck too. But it's like some of you did work. You did the healing. This could be something, but it doesn't have to be like that too. If it is like like something positive happening, like being sober and having an anniversary, I can imagine though, this, to reach, sometimes I feel like I don't have any issues like that, that are detrimental. I have my traits and stuff, but I don't understand what it's like to have this type of addiction, I have my addiction of overthinking and, creating fatalistic scenarios and stuff like that, and it's funny as I'm overthinking. I don't know if that's something that you, I don't know if you were in something where you felt like you were trapped, like you couldn't, and maybe this is you having to cope, if it was that type of situation. So I'm trying to read this as in many ways as possible for Taurus. I'm not trying to say Taurus are alcoholics or anything, because, but somebody could have, had to admit to that, and that could be something life-changing, and then that admission, and then going through the healing process and being able to stop imbibing, and then try to make healthier choices and not escape life, face your problems, and then try to find solutions rather than trying to drown them. That could be one thing, right? But it's like the other scenario I said is like you may have faced a lot of challenges with whatever it is that you were working on, that you had to overcome, that you had to resurrect from. Maybe you had a lot of setbacks that possibly caused you to lose hope during certain times, but then you had to collect yourself. You had to isolate yourself, reconnect to the reason why you were doing something specific. Like I said, the miracle can be totally different things, but I know it has to do with healing, and I know it has to do with creation or nurturing. But I want to know, what is miracle? It's Ace of Cups. This has to do with self-love, or it could be some sort of a new beginning in love. I don't know if some of you are, like I mentioned earlier, some of you could be invited out for drinks and stuff. You know, that maybe some of you have been single for a significant amount of time and probably had those thoughts in your mind that you will probably never meet anybody, that you will be by yourself, and then maybe a part of you were in peace with that idea, you know? It could be that. But it could be you, like whatever this new beginning is for you, whatever miracle it is, because the immortality card came out, a resurrection. It's like a new version of you is being unveiled, you know, like the oysters being revealed, and there's a new version of yourself that's being revealed, a more healed version, a more nurtured version, you know. Okay, let's see what the time. Just want to make sure. Now tell me about the synchronization. You got 2 cards. Yeah, Ace of Cups. Yeah, because they're, I don't know, like you've had a lot of disappointments, but there's like something new coming in, right? That you've been wanting. But it's like with the 4 Cups is indicating that you maybe have been disappointed with the past, that you're so focused on it. And it could be where this 5 of Swords is coming in too, that, you know, you're stuck in your head, that you're not seeing a good thing when it comes in. But it's like, if you've done the healing, you've done the work, you know, hopefully that's what it is. Or maybe you're just rejecting certain offers until they're the right ones, the ones that you know will be fulfilling for you emotionally, but also financially, because you have the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles showing up. So you're looking for something that's going to be not only make you happy, but also help you feel safe and secure and stable with, you know, which is the Queen of Pentacles. She's very wealthy. She's established. She has a business. She has money, but she's also caring and nurturing. Okay, tell me more about synchronization. Yeah, but it's like you have to be aware of any deception. Also self-sabotage. Make sure you're not sabotaging yourself in any way. Nobody can sabotage you as much as you can sabotage yourself, because you know all your weaknesses. You know where to hurt yourself. So be careful of that, Taurus. You know, it's important. I don't know if some of you Taurians have felt unstable, but there's like some sort of stability coming towards you, you know. I feel like if this is a Taurus are grounded, you know. I'm not gonna like make a blanket statement and say that all Taurus are grounded, because we know that's not true, you know, because some Scorpios are not the same as me, you know. Some are, you know, we have ideas about the certain signs, right? We have like these stereotypes of what a sign is, right? But maybe some of you probably have been a little bit off balance, and maybe there's some stability coming in. You know, maybe this is like a period in your life where you feel like you can actually rest and relax if you've been putting in a lot of effort. Because I know Taurians, and I could be wrong, they like to chill. One of the negative traits of a Taurus is laziness. But I'm going to call it like you want to chill. Maybe you've been overworking and you're probably getting the break you need. Maybe you're going on a vacation. Maybe that your vacation time was approved, and now you're going to be able to go to Hawaii. You're going to go somewhere where you can see the sunset. You can see the sunrise and the sunset, you know. But it could also be you're meeting somebody new, someone who's grounded, someone who is mature, possibly even nurturing. And you're going to have a new, stable, solid beginning, because you've probably faced some sort of offers in the past that were, you know, had hidden motives. Maybe someone was sneaky, wasn't genuine, but it's like the synchronization is coming through, but you don't want to sabotage it with any fears. Yeah, oh, look at that, 9 of Swords. I don't know if some of you have been like just mentally overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, you know, and this could be you in the past, and that you've overcome that. Look at that, the King of Cups in the bottom. I mean, the split, when I split it, that King of Cups. So maybe some of you are now feeling more emotionally grounded and stable. But also, they say that this person looks like they're drinking, right? But for me, it looks like someone who's singing. Because I know, you know, some people, they put the shell and then they create some sort of sound. So some of you are just like happy and celebrating. That it's like you're no longer in this energy, this anxious energy. Now, if you are in this energy, there's something that you need to change, transform in your life, you know. And, you know, maybe some of you have been having issues with your anger, because I saw the cool down card underneath. So maybe some of you have been needing to work on your temper, work on your temperament, you know, not allowing yourself to maybe overworking, because you see the fire here. You know, when you overwork, you could burn yourself out, right? But it could also be like time for you to take a break, to cool down, to just relax. Finally, that time may be coming, but it could be you meeting somebody new where you feel like you could put your hair down, let your hair down. You can finally like relax, you know, it could be that too. So I hope that message helps you. I went kind of long with that one, Taurus, because I felt like that one had a lot more messages in it. So I hope that resonates with the Taurians that watched, who may see this later on. So now I'm going to go into Gemini. I'm going to do Gemini right now. Gemini is going to be 2550. Because I'm going to shuffle. What does Gemini need to know at this time? What does Gemini need to know at this time? What does Gemini need to know at this time? Okay, law, lawyer, judge, police. Okay. Balance, legal system. It could be things coming. I want to say justice because that's Libra is law, justice, scales, right? Scales, change, transformation, newborn, evolution. Okay, Gemini. One more. No, that's too many. Just one more. One more for Gemini. Gemini. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. Okay. So greed. Oh, wow. Okay. It's funny that I was talking about something and then now it's like carrying over to Gemini. It says law, lawyer, judge, police. Change, transformation, newborn, evolution. And then greed, laziness, obsession, cruelty, stupidity. I feel like I need to clarify this because like one thing I'm thinking about, like maybe that you're finding some sort of balance within yourself. That maybe you're feeling more balanced and that you maybe you have some sort of mindset where you feel like people who tend to be greedy tend to have a scarcity mindset because they feel the need to hoard things, you know? They feel the need to hoard things. But then, you know, that's either caused you some sort, there could be somebody you're dealing with, right? But there's something that needs to change. You know, there's some sort of change that needs to be made to help restore balance. I saw the strength card came out. I don't know. I don't know if any of you are dealing with a Leo. I don't know if you have a Leo placement in your chart. Five of Pentacles. Remember I was talking about greed, people that have a scarcity mindset? No, you're not. I'm on Gemini right now, Teresa. You're good. I hope you're doing well. Five of Swords came out. Conflict, mental conflict, even maybe conflict with other people, disagreements. Maybe someone feeling like they have to do whatever they have to do, regardless of what effect it may have on someone else. But with the Strength card, it's like, I don't know, like, strength has to do with being courageous, being brave, but also being able to tame the beast, whatever your beast is. It could be your insecurities, it could be your anger, it could be your rage, it could be your desires or your very base desires. But I feel like oh, girl, this week was not the greatest for me. I'm just glad it's over. The beginning was good, and it went down the toilet. Today I'm alive, you know, I'm grateful. Thank you. Hi, Mick. How are you? I hope you had a good week. I hope everybody had a good week so far. Strength, Five of Pentacles, Temperance, Six of Cups. So I don't know. I see strength as Leo, temperance is Sagittarius. Leo, Sagittarius, fire sign energy. I don't know if like some of you or someone you're dealing with may feel like they need to calm, they need to bring some sort of balance into something. And there may be like trying to find some way to appease themselves with the law card. But I'm not looking at it, this is a law card. I'm looking at it as like freaking balance. It's about balance. It's about fairness. It's about reciprocity, equality, fairness, justice. That's how I'm reading it. So someone may feel like they had to restore some sort of balance within themselves, because maybe there's a part of them that their ego, it could be, that kind of gets in the way, and they need to know when to listen to that ego or to shut it up. But like, oh, it's okay, you know, like stroke the ego, like, okay, it's okay, you know, I hear you, I hear what you got to say, but you know, that we don't need to worry about that. We don't need to, you know, concern ourselves with that type of thing, right? And I feel like when whoever this is, I don't know if this is you're feeling like you have to do that for yourself, Gemini, or if this is someone you're dealing with, you know, but change, transformation. There has to be some sort of change with some mindset, because someone feels like they've been left out in the cold, that they've been abandoned, that they are no longer welcomed, no longer valued, no longer appreciated, you know. But that could be something that someone may be telling themselves, and that's something that they need to change. They had to restore balance, because we have the Temperance card here. This is about reconciliation. And also we have the Six of Cups, something in the past. But maybe someone kept making stupid choices or taking stupid actions based on their insecurities. And that's something that they need to change, because if they don't, all they're doing is causing some sort of imbalance in their own life, even causing conflict with the people they love, or even within themselves. You know, they could be causing some sort of division, you know. With the Temperance card showing up with the Six of Cups, this is about reconciling with the past, you know, like coming to terms with the past relationships, childhood memories, nostalgia, that type of thing. Because this is where the greed is coming from. This is coming from the past, you know. You see how there's gold crown here, and then you see the gold necklace? I love how that like connects. And gold is tied to the sun, masculine energy. So there may be some sort of imbalance with feminine and masculine energy. We do see a feminine and masculine with Six of Cups too. So, and that's split. And then one of the tarot decks I have, it says part man, part woman, all angel, right? So I feel like there's some sort of battle going on internally, and it could also be external, like a battle between a feminine, you could be the feminine Gemini or the masculine, but there's a battle going on between the sexes, the opposite sex. It could be an internal battle within your feminine and masculine energy, or it could be an external battle with someone of a feminine or masculine energy, you know, the opposite gender of you, you know. But it's like the advice is like, you have to tame your fears. You have to don't let your fears or your emotions control you. Learn how to control your emotions and your fears, you know. This is where the balance will be restored, and also bring some sort of change in your outlook and your perception about certain circumstances, and your perception of yourself, Gemini. And Gemini makes sense, because Gemini, you're twins. You know, there's the duality of that. So it makes sense. Maybe you had to come to terms with your shadow side and your light side. You know, it's okay that you have some dark thoughts and you've done some bad things. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. We all have a shadow side. It doesn't mean we're evil. It's just we have those parts of ourselves that show us what we're capable of in the worst way, you know. And sometimes us knowing that is empowering, because it shows that we do have power, and we also have control, and that if we allow ourselves to control that and even transmute that energy, that negative shadow energy, into something more positive, then we could create something new, which is what creates change in your world. You know, it allows you to transform yourself, transform your perception, but even brings transformation within your own environment itself. So I hope that was helpful, Gemini. Now I'm going to go into Cancer. I don't think I have enough water. I need to get more water. But now we're going to go into Cancer. For Cancer. The Cancerians. I thank you all for joining and giving this video, this live stream a thumbs up. I really appreciate you. So I'm going through all the signs that currently I'm going into Cancers, the Cancerians. I want to take that card because it's message. I don't know. Communication records, call records, instant messaging. Some of you could be currently on your phone messaging somebody or waiting for a message from somebody or reading someone's message. You're receiving this message. But it says communication records, call records, instant messaging. Okay, let me put a timestamp. 35, 30. Okay, what else for the Cancerians? What else for the Cancerians? What else for the Cancerians need to know at this time? And I appreciate all of you who voted in the poll I posted a couple of days ago. Because I like to know what kind of readings you would like to see, because it helps me think about like ideas. Like if you want a certain thing, like what good is coming towards you, like what are they thinking, what are they feeling? You know, I could do that for all the signs. I'm not going to do individual readings or questions. I'm deciding that like those types of questions and stuff, I want to like do personal readings, but it's going to cost. I'm thinking about prices and everything right now. So eventually I'm going to start offering private readings. Empty room. The cards, some of the cards are in reverse because of the way I flipped them when I was shuffling. It wasn't meant to be like that because I don't read these cards in reverse unless I feel like intuitively like I have to. But I don't like it. This one I kind of wanted to read in the reverse because an empty room in reverse would imply that you're not in an empty room. You're in a full room, a room full of people. And which is why I kind of want to read it that way too, because we have the message card. You know, some of you maybe, you know, I catch myself doing this. Sometimes, you know, when you go to events and stuff, and this is for Cancerians. I have Cancer rising, just so you know. But this isn't about me, but I'm just giving this as an example. Sometimes when you go to places where it's like so many damn people, you know, and you're like, I don't even want to be here. I don't want to be around these people. I want to be by myself. But then I don't know, some of you are like, you tend to play on your phone. You tend to be like acting like you're talking to somebody so nobody will bother you. That may not resonate. Or you may actually be contacting someone, or someone may be contacting you. The noisy sound came out, and the fact that empty room came out in reverse it makes sense. You're somewhere, you may be somewhere where there's a lot of noise, where you can't even hear yourself think. And you may even be somewhere with somewhere noisy, where you can't even talk to each other, right? And you have to use your cell phone. You have to use your phone to message each other just to communicate. You know, this is what's coming on my mind. Information overload. Some of you may be finding out some sort of information. You know, you may be seeing it on social media. It could be word of mouth. But it's like something may be happening where you feel like you have to protect yourself. I don't know if there's some news about you specifically or someone that you really care about that starts to spread, and it's starting to create some sort of mess that you feel like you have to guard yourself, or the person that you may be dealing with may feel like they need to protect themselves too from some sort of backlash. I don't know if there's going to be some sort of interaction, or it's going to incite anger in someone. It's going to make somebody feel very hot, or, you know, when you start to get upset and you start to feel hot, or if you feel like you have a lot of eyes on you, or you start to feel guilty about something, then you start to, like, you know. But it's like whatever this is coming out when it's supposed to. Divine intervention, serendipity, catalyst, karma. It's bringing about some sort of change, a much needed change. Someone may not be happy about this change with the hot card. You know, it does say popular, focus, explosive. So something may be coming out. Somebody may be getting upset because of, you know, that somebody's business could be coming out. And they feel like they have to protect themselves from any backlash, any anger, or anything that may, you know, may cause them harm. whatever it is. Since you know how it is when you have to protect yourself, Cancer. You know what you have to do. Such that you go into your shelf. Some of you may even like retreats. I used to think the Hermit card was for Cancer, but it's not. It's for Virgo. But crabs have their shell, right? And they could retreat into their shell for protection. So some of you may feel like, there's a lot of talk, there's a lot of news, there's a lot of information. Maybe some of you are deciding to cut yourself off from social media too. You don't want to have nothing to do with social media because it just probably causes you a lot of stress. It makes you angry, the things that you're seeing. You may even don't want to watch the news because you feel like you have to protect your peace because of whatever else is coming out. It's like inciting some sort of, like, it's sparking something, but not in a good way, The bonfire card is also in reverse, but I usually read this card as a card of comfort, somewhere safe, somewhere warm, But in the reverse, it's a safe haven, flame, home, sing and dance. I feel like some of you may not, like, if there's a specific place that you like to be, you no longer feel safe there. And you feel like you have to protect yourself from it too, because it's now becoming more populated. There's a lot more people coming to that specific safe place that you had. It could be like a specific, like maybe a certain part of a park or like a specific place that not many people frequent, but now there's a lot more people coming and it's like disrupting, but you feel like you have to guard yourself. But it could be this information that you're receiving or it could just be you cutting off social media. Okay, I didn't mean to read all that but I gotta go with the flow, right? So I want to see what the message is. Some cards fell. Yeah, they're from the last reading. Those are not for you. Unless you have Gemini in your chart. So what message does Cancer need to know this time? Tell me about message for Cancer. Message, noisy sound, guard, and an empty room. Tell me about message. Hi, Dana. How are you? Tell me about message for Cancer. Okay. King of Wands and Six of Pentacles. Huh. Okay. I don't know. I always do that. Why is it? I don't know. What I'm getting, I have to say that instead. What I'm getting, there may be somebody that may be from your past coming around, Cancer. They could be a King of Wands. It could be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but the King of Wands is typically assigned to Leo. So it could be somebody that you may have been in a relationship with in the past. It could be an old friend, someone you know from childhood that may be contacting you. You got the Ace of Cups coming out. This could have been your first love for some of you. I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I'm alive. Ace of Cups. It could be somebody from your past that this person could have been your first love, Cancer. But tell me about the noisy sound. Oh, Lord. Tell me about noisy sound. Three of Pentacles. I want to say this could be somebody that you went to school with. Someone that you could have collaborated with in the past, because I get the Three of Pentacles, which is like teamwork. So it could be somebody from an old job, too, that you used to work with in a small group setting. Hangman, this person could be a Piscean, or it could have been a Pisces season. Someone who's, I don't know. I gotta stop saying that. What I'm getting is the noisy sound. Some of you, maybe this message is just going to have you overthinking. You're just going to be thinking, overthinking. And because maybe you didn't expect this message from this person. It may have been a significant amount of time since you last spoke to them. But this message is just going to cause your mind to go a little haywire. You feel like you're going to have to guard yourself, protect yourself. I don't know. It depends on the type of situation you have with this person. But it's also maybe you're trying to look at this situation from a different perspective. Because maybe you're having certain thoughts and it's the same sort of thoughts. And maybe your mind is going overload, like it's just overthinking the situation, but then it's like you have to take a break from it, take a step back from this, just so you could gain a fresher perspective, because it depends on the type of situation you had with this person in the past. It doesn't have to be like they could have been a first love, but it could just be someone who is interested in you, who has emotions towards you, and may want to express it, have a beginning with you. But it could also be someone that you've had a past relationship with, that there was love. They could have been your first love. Another thing I'm getting to is that if you weren't expecting this person to reach out to you, you may be trying to figure out or work it out, like how can you make this work with this specific person? If this is a past person that's coming back, like how can you make it work with them? You may be trying to look at the past situation from a different perspective. With the Hangman and the Three of Pentacles, like how can you work this out together? But there's something that you feel like you have to guard yourself, Cancer. And the Queen of Cups, she's usually assigned to Cancer. So, you may be wondering, can you take a risk? Because I don't know, she's looking carefree, and you don't know, like, can you be carefree? Can you let your hair down? Can you relax with this person? Can you feel free with them? Or do you feel like you have to put your guard up, protect yourself, protect your emotions? Tell me about guard. Ace of Pentacles. I don't know. Stop saying I don't know. What I'm getting, I have to stop saying that. Start saying what I'm getting. What I'm getting is, if this is a person from your past that may be returning, that's causing your mind to go haywire with thoughts of the past, and you overthinking, oh, what if you allow this person back in, right? If you've established some sort of new beginning for yourself, if you moved on, I feel like this is what you want to protect, that new beginning that you've already established from yourself. Maybe you've healed from this person, and then you started over, you feel more grounded, or you're like focusing on building a secure future for yourself, And that could be where like you feel like you have to protect yourself. You could literally want to protect your finances, protect your investments. Hopefully this isn't somebody from the past that stole from you. This is bad, because that popped up in my mind. And you see how he's looking at her necklace and he's touching it? I don't know if some of you if this is a person that may have stole from you. And I don't know. It doesn't have to be that actually could have stole your heart, But I feel like some of you may be wanting to protect your investments. But I don't know if this person, maybe some of you, this person could have stolen your money, and you feel like you have stolen something valuable from you. And maybe that's why you feel like you have to protect yourself, protect your future, protect your investments. Because you have the Two of Wands here. You're looking more so to the future. I think you don't want to look back at the past. I feel like you want to focus more so on the future and what stability you can bring to your own life. You've reflected on this, but I feel like from what I'm getting, some of you may just prefer to be on your own and continue. Look at this. You prefer to be on your own. Yeah, I feel like some of you don't want to revisit this past person. For some of you may want to. Some of you may be turning your back on the past, like you want to start over with them, but some of you may be just turning your back completely to them, because you're reflecting more so on what you've invested in this new beginning you've established for yourself. You're focusing more so on the future and not wanting to look back. Maybe the fact this is empty room, maybe there were a lot of people involved in your relationship, and that's what caused this to be a separation for you. I don't know if there was another person or other people. Maybe there were maybe some influential factors or people that had some sort of influence on your relationship. And I don't know if this person played games with you too, because the Knight of Cups is there. Knight of Cups is someone who's charismatic, loving. We'll take loving actions. We'll take steps to express emotion toward you. But this sometimes in this Knight of Cups, but then with the Eight, it's like you don't want to play any games. You know, you're taking things seriously, and you don't know if this person's coming back with good intentions. You know, are they coming back because they have an ulterior motive, or they're coming back because they actually want something with you? So ultimately, whatever you decide for yourself, it's going to be the best decision for you, because where you're heading is somewhere successful, somewhere where you're going to be recognized, seen. You're going to be proud of where you're going with whatever you decide. The fact that the Guard card came out, it's like you already know, you already sense that there's something that you need to protect yourself from. You already know what to do. So I hope that was helpful for you, Cancer. I'm going to go into Leo now. So Leo. I hope you're having a good day. I hope everybody's having a good day or good evening. Okay. Hi, Suvar. Hi, Brajita. Yay, Leo season. Leo season, not yet. But Leo signed, yes, we're reading the Leos now. What does Leo need to know? Okay. What does Leo need to know? What does Leo need to know? Well, you got a lot of cards coming out. I'm going to take the ones that came face up, but the rest of them, they're going back. Okay. So Leo, you have finances, money problem, work, success, and fortune. Bonfire, safe haven, flame, home, sing and dance. Look for, investigation, explore, search. And then let go, surrender, open up, give up, release. What I'm getting is that some of you may be focusing on your home. Wanted to create a space for yourself where you have all your comforts, everything. You want to be comfortable in your home. You may be thinking about what kind of home you may want, what kind of home you want to live in, how do you want your home to be. And that may be something that you're working on, but it could be also your finances being tied to that, because you may be thinking there may be certain changes you need to make in your finances so that you can create the comfortable lifestyle that you envision yourself having, the comfortable home that you envision yourself having, right? But you may be like doing some sort of research, maybe looking at different opportunities that may help you with your finances. But you're also exploring what options are out there. Like, I don't know if some of you are planning to move, you may be looking at homes. I think with the letting go, I feel like with this, I feel like you're opening yourself up to new possibilities with the letting go card. You know, you're looking at what options are there, and you're opening yourself to a new world of options. Because whatever you've experienced in the past, you're already moved on from it, and you no longer see that being a part of your future for whatever it's worth. You know, because right now it seems like you're focusing on creating a safe, comfortable home for yourself, for your family. But money may be a factor for you. It could be a factor. But yeah, I feel like it's that. Okay. So tell me about finances. I have to be careful with the way I read, because sometimes I could go too long and It's tiring. So finances for Leo. Finances for Leo. So real finances for Leo. You have two of wands. Yeah, you're looking at what's out there for you. Like I mentioned, you opening up yourself to new options. You may be, and this the two of wands has to do with traveling. It has to do with expanding your horizons, exploring your options, opening up your perception, your viewpoint, and not looking at things narrowly, but you're looking at the bigger picture. So there may be certain changes that you may be making in your finances because of this specific goal you have for your home. You know, you're making some sort of plan, like taking some sort of strategy. Because you see, this is the Knight of Pentacles. I feel like this is something that you're taking your time with. You're not rushing yourself, because the Knight of Pentacles is they say a slowest knight, but he's very. The Knight of Pentacles is someone who is very careful. You know, they don't act out irrationally like the other knights. They're more a grounded knight. Tell me more. Four of Cups. I feel like with the balance, Justice card coming out with the Four of Cups, you're looking for things that are going to match what you want, you know, that it meets your expectations. You may have your list of what you want and the house or whatever you're looking for the future. Whatever your options you're exploring, you want them to match. You don't want them to be giving you less than what you want, where you feel like you're giving more than you're getting back in return, you know? But you're also being careful with the types of offers or the types of offers that you're even considering, you know? You're researching them, right? You're not just like taking the first opportunity, whatever it is. It could also be with work. I don't know if you are looking for new jobs, you're moving away from something old, you're releasing, you're disconnecting or detaching from your past and wanting to start something new and looking at what work options you have for yourself, but you're also being careful about the offers that you're accepting, and you're just weighing the pros and cons of each of them as they come in. You know, you're doing the research, you're investigating the companies, you may be looking at what the benefits are, you know, is this a good company to work for? You know, you're doing your due diligence, but ultimately it's like you're trying to find the right offer that will match whatever it is that you need, whatever that will allow you to be open. You know, maybe you want to try something new and different, but you also want that stability and security, you know? It could be that. Now, tell me about letting go. I swear, that was a Two of Cups. I don't know, some of you, I caught myself. Two of Cups came out. Some of you may be moving away from a relationship dynamic. It could be moving away from a friendship, Leo. But it could be also opening yourself to this new opportunity when it comes to love. You know, you maybe in the past, it could also be love, you know, because the way I like to read, like I don't like really reading the cards for what they are. I also see like finances could be your worth, your net worth, your self-worth. So I don't know. Some of you may be reflecting, maybe taking time to reflect on how you see yourself and making the necessary changes, making plans and following through with them, and making logical, sound, grounded plans. Not like you have pipe dreams and stuff like that. These are things that you actually know is possible for you. And then with the Justice, yeah, I feel like some of you, it could be like, if it is a past situation, you know, you may be working on that, looking at making changes that you need to restore balance in your life, but also making sure that the offers that you're receiving are fair and balanced to you. Like if they are love offers, are these offers that align to you, match your needs and desires and standards? Do they match your standards? And if they don't, you don't give them a second glance. You know, you did the necessary research, you got the information you needed to make your decision, and you know, it's like dismiss next. Thank you, next. You know, because in the past you probably experienced a lot of disappointment, right? But it could even be about work, right? And it even could be about a house, right? About moving. You just wanting to find the right place that matches your needs, your desires, the vision that you have for yourself when it comes to your career, when it comes to your home, even the type of relationship you want. But it's about you kind of also being more open to not restrict yourself by, like I said, like you have this list. You may have a list of what you want and what you accept, but the standards, you shouldn't lose the standards. People should be respectful and respect your boundaries and all that stuff, whatever your standards are, right? But it's like certain things maybe don't be so restrictive about unless they're absolutely necessary. Because some people, they want to be with, like, say if you're someone who likes to run, you want to be with someone who likes to run too, because you want that to be a part of your relationship, running together, whatever you want to do together. You know what I mean? I'm giving that as an example. It doesn't have to be about fitness. It could be like if you both like to eat, then you like going to like doing like road trips but for food, something like that. It could be whatever it is. Everybody's situation is different, but it could also be a job that just aligns with your life purpose, what you care about, who you care about. Oh, okay. I'm glad this reading is resonating with you, Teresa. Yeah, when they come at you with their wands and their pointy things. They poke and prod you. The Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. Okay, anything else for letting go? Yeah, it's like once you start to release that and align, allow yourself to open up to the things, you're creating a like this opening, and letting things to kind of flow in for your better good, right? Because you're bringing success, fortune to you, right? But you see the Four of Wands came out. This is about celebration with friends, family. It could be marriage. It could be like some of you moving into a new home, getting the offer that you want, that aligns with you, that matches your needs and your desires. What else for Leo? Yeah, it's got the Seven of Swords coming out. Yeah, and there may be somebody coming back. Somebody coming back with an offer for you. This is the King of Pentacles. Somebody from a past life maybe coming back with an offer, but you may be suspicious of this person. But also you may have those fears. You may need to release those fears, but if your intuition is going off and letting you know, like, this is somebody you need to protect yourself from, or you need to release, then you know what you have to do. You have to do what's good for you. I know we can have wonderful memories and stuff, but there could be somebody coming back from the past too, that wants to reignite that flame. But it could be somebody that you don't want. And, you have the power to choose if you accept them. If it's a job or like from a past job, a past opportunity coming back around, or if it's someone from the past. Yeah, so that's what I got for you, Leo. I hope that was helpful. I hope that was helpful, Leo. So now I'm going to go into Virgo. Virgo. It's going to be... Okay, Virgo. Oh my gosh. Virgo. What does Virgo need to know at this time? What does Virgo need to know at this time? What does Virgo need to know at this time? That card came out. One more for Virgo. Work, suspicion, loss of control, sunset. What I'm getting is that some of you may be feeling like things are getting a little bit out of control at work. I don't know if you're seeing certain changes where you feel like people aren't being the most professional, not being the most and having the most integrity. That people may be working recklessly, may not be putting in the type of effort that you would or that you do. And I don't know, for some reason, sometimes that could instill or cause us to become hostile Or some of you may be facing some sort of hostility from someone at work, Virgo, who may be jealous of you, jealous of your success, jealous of the way you work, the way you even look, jealous of the way that you just do things. And I don't know if this person could possibly act out in a way where they losing control, or they may become reckless and do or say something to you where it's going to lead to some sort of ending. But it could also be that you're noticing things aren't as stable as they were in the past, and that things are like maybe continually deteriorating, you know? So I'm gonna show you the cards. Work. It says labor, earning money, livelihood, and then suspicion, vigilance, hostility, and jealousy, and then loss of control with reckless derailment and speeding. So I don't know if, you know what I'm getting? Do you feel like somebody is trying to sabotage you in some way? Or do you feel like you've lost control because of some sneaking suspicions that you may have about work? Whatever it is, it's going to be coming to an end. It says lost loved one memories, elder and night falls. So to me, sunsets have to do with the endings. The day is ending. Something's ending. But let's see what that's about. Can you tell me about work for... Let me shuffle this better. Work for Virgo. Work for Virgo. Tell me about work for Virgo. Work for Virgo. Work for Virgo. The first card that we have is Ten of Wands. Maybe y'all are getting sick of the way things are going on at work. You're sick and tired. You're wanting to move on. You're ready to cut your losses and start looking for something new for yourself. Got the Four of Cups coming out. Yeah, because you're not happy with the way things are going on at work. And I don't know if somebody's trying to give you some sort of offer. You know, maybe a promotion, but you're not liking that. Maybe there's certain terms and stipulations tied to that offer that you're not really feeling, and you kind of maybe feel like I want to say slap in the face. You're just disappointed with this offer that may be coming in from work. And you may be wanting a new beginning. You're ready to start somewhere new, somewhere where you can actually see growth. I wonder if some of you feel like the amount of effort that you put in your work isn't being valued. And you may have put it out there that you may be leaving, but then there may be somebody trying to keep you in the office. Try to keep you in the office, keep you in your job, keep you in your position. With suspicion, whistleblower, betrayal, report, exposed, leak. I feel like some of you are finding out about some suspicious activity at work, and that's what's causing you to be disappointed. Yeah, like something has come to light. Why am I with these cards? Oh my gosh. I'm going to stick with it because I'm clarifying suspicion, and I'm clarifying them with this. I feel like some of you found out something about work and it came out, and you've been keeping yourself silent. Some of you maybe wanted to come forward, maybe want to speak out because of what has come to light for you with the whistleblower. I didn't mean to take that deck. I meant to get the tarot. But there's a reason for that. That may resonate with a Virgo out there. I don't know if there's been some sort of theft with money. If money has been being moved to different places than it's supposed to be, Virgo. It could be something like that, Virgo. And that you may be discovering that. It's like the shit is hitting the fan. Yeah. The Fool came out in reverse. But you're not a fool anymore because you're aware of this. You're aware of this. I don't know if somebody was trying to do shit in front of you without you even knowing, thinking that you didn't know that you would have noticed, but then you just started to see things. I don't know if it has to do with nepotism, if, you know, something like that. And that could be what's caused you to be disappointed in your job. I don't know if somebody's trying to bribe you, because I see this. It's like, I don't know if somebody's trying to bribe you to keep quiet about something, trying to offer you something, maybe a position, but they're not giving it to you because of the way you work. They're giving it to you because they want to buy your silence. This is the weirdest message ever. Yeah, like, see, I got the devil card coming out. They just want you to stay silent. Act like you didn't see what you saw. I saw the 7 of Wands at the bottom. That has to do with defending yourself, standing your ground. So, loss of control. Heal. 6 of Cups. Star. I don't know if this is Aquarius energy involved. Capricorn energy. Aries, Aquarius. 8 of Cups. Yeah, things are getting out of hand where you are. And you feel like, yeah, you know, you probably spent enough time there. Probably even have a lot of memories in your job, in this position. I feel like this has to do with work. This is like a straight up work reading. And you're thinking, you're trying to come to peace, trying to heal, you know, trying to figure out what's the right action for you to do. But ultimately, you know, it involves you walking away, turning your back on it, because you're not happy with the situation for what it is. You know, you've probably put in a lot of time, work, and effort in this position, but whatever is going on, it doesn't align with you. It doesn't sit well with you. And you may feel the need to speak out against it. And you know that comes at a cost. But the Chariot is indicating that you're going to be able to breeze through it. You know, the Chariot is a card. Things are going to get out of control. Yeah. But I feel like you're going to be in control. You're going to be in control. Somebody else is not going to be in control with the loss of control. Reckless, derailment, speeding. I don't feel like this is your energy. I feel like this is somebody else's, you know. But I feel like ultimately you're deciding that you need to move on. But the Chariot could also be like, you feel like you have to move on because there may be certain actions taken against you, you know, by someone. To them, there may be somebody coming after you. Maybe that's the fear too that you have, that someone may come after you if you speak up. And that's Cancer energy right there. But I feel like you have to have faith in the situation, trust in a higher source, but also do what you feel like is the best thing to do, you know. If you have to report it, then report it. If you feel like you have to stay quiet, it's going to be a comfortable situation. But ultimately, you have to do what you feel is best, especially if it's something that's going against your belief system, anything like that. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to end this live stream. I'm going to have to come back. I have to use the restroom. So I'm going to end the live stream now. I'm reading for Virgo, right? So the next sign is going to be Libra. So when I come back, I'm going to be reading for Libra. All right, so I had to really use the bathroom. My cycle may be starting, that's why. So I know TMI, but I hope to see you back in the second part of this live stream, where I'll go through Libra and from Libra to Pisces. Okay, so I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back as soon as I can. Hopefully I don't get distracted because I'm still at work and there's people here, but I will definitely be back. All right, I'll see you. Thank you. And if I don't see you, if I already referred your sign, thank you so much for joining, liking, and possibly subscribing. And I hope to see you in the second half of this live stream, where I continue through from Libra all the way through to Pisces. And yeah, so I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.